Introduction. The Battle of Arcole, fought in November 1796, was a significant event during the War of the First Coalition. French forces, led by Napoleon Bonaparte, executed a daring maneuver to outflank the Austrian army under Joseph Alvinci and cut off their retreat. The French victory thwarted the Austrian attempt to lift the siege of Mantua and proved crucial to their overall prospects. Despite initial setbacks, including a defeat at Caldiero, Bonaparte eventually forced the Austrians to withdraw. The subsequent rout of another Austrian column by Bonaparte sealed their defeat. A breakout attempt by the trapped Austrian garrison came too late to alter the outcome. The battle ended with the narrowest of margins favoring the French. Background. In the second relief attempt of the siege of Mantua, General Napoleon Bonaparte defeated General Dagobert Sigmund von Wurmser's Austrian army at the Battle of Bassano. Wurmser's subsequent march to Mantua was unsuccessful as the French drove him into the fortress. Emperor Francis II appointed General Joseph Alvinci to lead a new Austrian army in the third attempt to relieve Mantua. The Austrian plan involved a two-pronged offensive, with one corps moving west toward Verona and another advancing south from the Alps. Bonaparte faced challenges in coordinating his forces, but he devised a daring strategy to outflank the Austrians by crossing the Adige River. The battle took place in difficult terrain near Arcole, where the French persisted in their attacks until Alvinci was forced to withdraw. Despite a victory by General Paul Davidovich against General Claude-Henri Belgrand de Vaubois, the Austrian campaign ultimately failed, and the siege of Mantua continued. Battle. The Battle of Arcole occurred in November 1796 during the French Revolutionary Wars. On the first day of the battle, Napoleon Bonaparte's troops crossed the Adige River using a pontoon bridge and faced resistance from Austrian forces defending the town of Arcole. The French attackers were initially repulsed and suffered heavy casualties. Meanwhile, on the western flank, the Austrians attempted to seize the French pontoon bridge but were driven back. Bonaparte tried various strategies to break the stalemate, including launching an attack from a different direction and personally leading his troops, but the situation remained deadlocked. On the second day, the Austrian commander, Alvinci, planned to converge his forces on the French bridgehead. However, the Austrian attack from Belfiore was repelled by General Massena's troops, and the battle between Mitrowski and Augereau ended with the Austrians retreating to Arcole. The Austrians fortified their positions in Arcole, blocking the French attempts to capture the village. French efforts to cross the Adige at Alboreto and the Alpone also failed, but sizable French forces remained on the Austrian side of the river. On the third day, Alvinci withdrew part of his forces while Mitrowski defended Arcole. The French engineers constructed a bridge over the Alpone, allowing Augereau's division to cross and join the fight. Massena launched an attack on Provera near Belfiore, pushing the Austrians back. The battle at Arcole continued to fluctuate throughout the day, with the Austrians gaining the upper hand at one point. However, with the arrival of reinforcements, Massena ambushed the Austrians and together with Augereau, they successfully captured Arcole. The French troops advanced further, threatening to block the main east-west highway, but the Austrian brigade of Schubers held them off, allowing Provera's division to retreat. Overall, the Battle of Arcole was a hard-fought and intense engagement with multiple attempts by both sides to gain the upper hand. The French eventually emerged victorious, but the battle was marked by heavy casualties and a prolonged struggle for control of strategic positions. Aftermath. The Battle of Arcole resulted in significant losses for the French, with 3,500 dead and wounded and 1,300 captured or missing. The Austrians had 2,200 dead and wounded, as well as 4,000 men and 11 guns captured. General Jean-Gilles-André Robert was mortally wounded on the French side, while Austrian General Major Gerhard Rosselmini died later. On the 17th of November, another engagement occurred at Rivoli, where the French, led by General Vaubois, faced an Austrian attack led by Davidovich. The French initially resisted but eventually panicked, resulting in 800 casualties and 1,000 captured, including Generals Pascal-Antoine Fiorella and Antoine Villette. The Austrians suffered 600 casualties. Vaubois retreated towards Peschiera del Garda while Davidovich pursued. On the 19th of November, Davidovich initially retreated to Rivoli but halted upon receiving an encouraging message from Alvinci. However, the French caught up with him at Rivoli, resulting in 200 French casualties and losses of 250 killed and wounded on the Austrian side, along with 600 prisoners, 3 guns, and a bridging train. After the battle, Alvinci regrouped in Olmo and decided to return to the field with his remaining troops. Upon learning of Davidovich's defeat, the Austrian army began retreating to the Brenta River. In Mantua, the French siege continued, with Wurmser failing to exploit apparent gaps in the French camps. On the 23rd of November, Wurmser launched an assault, inflicting casualties and capturing 200 soldiers, but withdrew upon learning of Davidovich's retreat. In November 1796, the French captured Venice and 2 frigates under construction, naming one of them Miron in honor of Bonaparte's fallen aide. Bonaparte later used the Miron to escape to France after his return from Egypt in 1799.